Yeah, in this question, if for a random variables A and B, standard deviation of A is 4 and the standard deviation of B is 5, right? Standard deviation of A is 4, standard deviation of B is 5. Regression coefficient of B on A. How do I define regression coefficient of B on A? Covariance between A and B divided by the variance of A. That is what we call as the regression coefficient. So this regression coefficient of B on A, we are calling it as this much, which means from here I can find out the covariance between A and B. Why, what is the variance of A? Variance of A is 16. So from here we get covariance between A and B is equal to 16. And the question is about finding the correlation between A and B. Correlation can be given by the formula R equal to covariance between A and B by standard deviation of A into standard deviation of B. So we have got the correlation as 16 divided by standard deviation of A is 4, standard deviation of B is 5, working out to 0.8. So I would be marking the option choice D as the answer in this case. Alright. Let's move on to the next question. If f of 4 equal to 42 and f of 6 equal to 50, f of 9 equal to 65, based on the linear interpolation, what is the approximate value of f of 8.5? So 8.5 is lying somewhere between 6 and 9. So f of 6, if I am saying it's equal to 50, f of 9, if I am saying, so at 6 it is 50, at 9 it is 65, which means between 6 and 9 this value is uniformly distributed. So as per a simple formula, if I have to find out f of 8.5, I can very well say it as f of 9 minus f of 6 divided by 8.5, or probably divided by the total distance 9 minus 6 and plus 50. This is what I should be able to do. So f of 9, 65 minus 50 by 3. So what is 15 by 3? It's almost so per unit there is a distance of 5 units. Per unit, per unit change in the value of x, y will change by 5. Now this multiplied by whatever is the distance between 8.5 and 6, so which is 2.5 times. So this, if I am increasing it by 2.5 times and add it to 50, which is nothing but it's an increase of 12.5 to 50, giving me 62.5. Simple logic, 6 and 9. So if I am looking at 8.5, then it is in the ratio of 2.5 is to 0.5. The two ends are in the ratio 2.5 is to 0.5. Even the actual value also 50 and 65. If I divide this distance into two parts in such a way that it is 2.5 units this side and 0.5 units this side, or in the ratio of 5 is to 1, this point is nothing but 62.5. Even with a simple logic, we can solve these kind of questions. Alright, let's move on to the next one then. If in a regression model it is observed that y minus y bar whole squared y minus y bar whole squared is nothing but the total sum of squares. The total sum of squares is given as 128.6. Y cap minus y bar squared. Y cap minus y bar is nothing but regression sum of squares. A regression sum of squares is given as 75. So it's asking what is the approximate value of the absolute value of the correlation coefficient. Now we know from this r squared is nothing but regression sum of squares by total sum of squares, which is 75 divided by 128.6. Let me check out what that number is. I'm doing 75 by 128.6, which works out to almost 0.58, right? And if I'm interested, this is r squared. So to find out the correlation coefficient, I'm doing a square root of this, almost 0.76. So I can directly mark the option choice B as the answer in this case. Right? Alright, let's move on to the next one now. The current average of a set of scores is 75. Okay, the mean is 75 or x bar is 75. Standard deviation is 25. If each of the scores increases by 5 units, so if each score increases by 5 units, the mean will increase by 5 units, but the standard deviation does not change. What would be the respective resulting mean and standard deviation? 80 and 25. As we have already discussed, standard deviation varies only with the multiplication but not with the addition of a constant value to each of the individual values, but the mean will respond both to addition as well as multiplication, whereas the standard deviation will react only to the multiplication and not to addition or subtraction. Okay, moving on to the next question now. The heights of people is normally distributed with a mean of 68 inches and a standard deviation of 10 inches. What is the probability that a person selected at random will have heights between 60 and 80? So when we are talking about between 60 and 80, we are talking about height greater than 60, probability of height greater than 60, and the height less than 80. So if I want to find out probability of height greater than 60, I can do it as z value greater than, the probability of z value greater than x minus 60 minus mean, x minus mu by sigma, 60 minus 68 by 10. So which is nothing but probability of z greater than 0.8. The probability of z greater than 0.8, right? If this is the standard normal distribution, we are talking about z which is 0.8. I want the probability of this. This would be by symmetry. This would be the same as less than minus 0.8. And it is given to us that probability of z less than minus 0.8 is 0.2119, right? The probability of z less than minus 2 is minus 0.2119, and so z greater than 60, z greater than minus 0.8, sorry, z greater than minus 0.8 is the remaining portion, this entire thing. So I would have gone for 1 minus of 0.2119, which would give me whatever is the number, 1 minus 0.2119, working out to 0.7881. Then I also want z greater than or x less than 80. means probability of z less than 80 minus 68 by 10, which means probability of z less than 1.2. Z greater than 1.2 is 0.1151. So this point or this area works out to 0.1151. This area works out to 0.2119. We are more interested in the remaining portion of the area. So even after I subtract 0.1151 from the above, whatever comes, that would be my solution. 0.673 is the number which works out for me. So that is where I mark the option choice B as the answer for this question. Alright, let's move on to the next question now. Find the component of J in the direction of the vector. Straightforward question. The component of J is nothing but whatever is the coefficient of J, which is minus 2, divided by the square root or divided by its magnitude. So it works out to minus 2 divided by square root of 1 plus 4 plus 16. So working out to minus 2 by square root of 21. That is what will give me the component of J in the direction of this vector. Minus 2 by square root of 21. Okay, next question now. Find the cosine of the angle between the two vectors. The cosine of the angle is nothing but based on the dot product, right? A dot B equal to modulus of A into modulus of B into cos theta. So A dot B is nothing but multiply all the i's and do a sum product. 5 into 3, 15 plus B. What about J? 3 into minus 4, minus 12. And what about K? 4 into 6, 24. This is A dot B. 39 minus 12, 27. 39 minus 12, 27 is equal to AB cos theta. What is the modulus of A? Square root of 25 plus 9, 34 plus 16, 50 into what about B? Square root of 9 plus 16, 25 plus 36, 61 cos theta. So cos theta will work out as 27 divided by square root of 50 into square root of 61. Okay, so I can do it as 27 divided by square root of 50 into 61, working out to almost 0.48, right? 0.49, yep, 488. So it's working out to around 0.49. I can mark the option choice B as the answer in this case. A dot B equal to AB cos theta. Now the next question, solve the differential equation yt plus yt minus 1 minus 12 yt minus 2. If this is the kind of a scenario that we have, we can very well go with the scenario of a general form of the equation. So the general solution for this kind of a differential equation yt plus yt minus 1 minus 12 yt minus 2 would be generally of the form a into a power t plus b into b power t, y equal to a power t plus b power t. This is what, and that would be equated by solving this differential equation itself. So probably taking it as y squared plus y minus 12 equal to 0, whatever are the roots that we are getting, y plus 4 into y minus 3 equal to 0, working it out to y equal to minus 4 or yt equal to 3. So going with this comes out as, so substituting the roots here, a into minus 4 power t plus some b into 3 power t. This is the general solution of this differential equation. But I have to go further and find out the values of a and b. For that I'll use these two things. Y of 0 equal to 1. So substitute t equal to 0. I'll get 1 equal to a plus b. This is one equation I am getting. And what about 2? Y1 equal to 2. So substitute t equal to 1. I'll get minus 4a plus 3b equal to 1 or 2. So if I just do the first one, if I multiply across by 4, 4a plus 4b equal to 4. So overall I am getting 7b equal to 6, b equal to 6 by 7. Substituting the same, I get a equal to 1 by 7. So my equation will become, the solution will become 1 by 7 into minus 4 per t plus 6 by 7 into 3 per t, which is what is coming out as a part of the option choice D. So I can directly mark D as the answer in this case. Alright. Moving on to the next question here. Yeah. Find the value of gamma 4.5. Gamma 4.5 is nothing but, you keep multiplying 3.5 into 2.5 into 1.5 into 0.5 into gamma 0.5, which is square root of pi. Right? You can simply do this multiplication exercise. So now you can go ahead with 3.5 into 2.5 into 1.5 into 0.5 into square root of pi. Square root of pi, 11.63. So I have D as the option choice, working out for 11.63. So I can directly take that as the answer choice here. Okay, now the next question coming in. Find the point of inflection for the function this. Where do I find the point of inflection? The point of inflection is nothing but that particular point where the second derivative d squared y by dx squared is equal to 0. That is the point of inflection. So find out the second derivative here. 3x squared minus 10x plus 6 is the first derivative. 6x minus 10 is the second derivative. So wherever it is equal to 0, which means at x equal to pi by 3, the point of inflection is coming. So probably I can directly mark this as an answer. But when you substitute pi by 3 into this equation, I should get 344 by 27. But because there is no other pi by 3 here, I can directly mark B as the answer choice to this question. Otherwise, just to quickly verify, you substitute x equal to pi by 3 in all these things and do a simplification. That is what will work out to be the full-fledged point of inflection in our situation. Alright. Now, getting on to the next question. A slightly simpler one. Find the inverse of the matrix. For a two-dimensional matrix, we know that the inverse is nothing but 1 by AD minus BC into D minus B minus C A. So simply using that formula, 1 by AD 5 minus BC 6 into D minus B minus C A. So it's working out to minus 1 2, 3, minus 5. Minus 1, 2, 3, minus 5, where option choice is B. So go ahead with the answer choice B in this case. Moving on to the next one now. Find the Maclaurin series for the function f of x equal to e power 3x. What is the way we operate the Maclaurin series? We have that expansion formula, right? Just to reiterate the formula here for a Taylor series to start with, we have the Taylor series expansion as f of a plus f dash of a into x minus a plus f double dash of a into x minus a whole squared by 2 factorial plus so on f nth dash of a into x minus a to the power of n by n factorial. This is what we talk about the Taylor series expansion of f of x. So if the same thing wherever I put a equal to 0, we call that series as the Maclaurin series. So substituting a equal to 0 in this whole expansion. So when I am saying f of x equal to e power 3x, I can say f of 0 equal to e power 0, which is 1. Then f dash of x will become 3 e power 3x. F dash of 1 will f dash of 0 will become 3 into e power 0, which is 1. F double dash of x will become 9 into e power 3x. So f double dash of 0 will become 9. So when I am doing this expansion now, f of x, it will go as f of 0, which is 1, plus f dash of 0, which is 3, 3x, 3 into x minus 0, which is 3x, plus 9x squared by 2 factorial, plus, so it becomes 3 cube, so 27x cube by 3 factorial, and so on, it is going like that. So which is what, if I look at it from a sigma standpoint, this is becoming 3 power n x power n by n factorial. Sigma n equal to 0 to infinite. 3 power n x power n by x factorial. This is what is the expansion that is coming out, which means I will definitely mark the option choice D. So please be comfortable working out with the Maclaurin series for whatever the question that is given. So that if at all it comes out as a good 5-mark question, which could really fetch you a decent score in the exam. All right. Move on to the next question. Yeah. 56pr plus 6 is to 54pr plus 3. We go traditionally itself. 56 factorial divided by n minus r factorial. 56 minus r minus 6. So 50 minus r factorial. 56 factorial by 50 minus r factorial divided by 54p3. 54 factorial by 54 minus of r minus r plus 3, which is 51 minus r factorial, is equal to 30,800. So do it a little bit of arithmetic. 56 into 55 divided by 51 minus r is equal to 30,800. So from here it works out that 51 minus r is equal to 56 into 55 by 30,800. 56 factorial by 54 factorial, and in the numerator this becomes 51 minus r. I'm sorry. This becomes 51 minus r. So 51 minus r will become 30,800 divided by 56 into 55. How much does it operate to? 30,800 divided by 56 into 55, working out to 10. So this 51 minus r is coming out to 10. So from here you can very well compute that the r is 41, marking the option choice as B in this case. Alright, moving on to the next question now. The sum of the digits of a 2-digit number is 9. So let the 2-digit number is xy. The sum of the digits, so the sum of the digits will be x plus y. This is equal to 9. The number obtained by reversing the order of the digits, so yx. So the initial place value or the initial value of this digit is 10x plus y. The new number is becoming 10y plus x. Exceeds the given number by 27. So if I subtract the given number, which is 10x plus y, this should become 27. So from this it is becoming 9y minus 9x equal to 27, or y minus x equal to 3. X plus y equal to 9 minus x plus y equal to 3. So from here simplification, it is coming 2y equal to 12 or y equal to 3, and from there it is coming out that x equal to 3. So the number is coming out as 36. So you try to reverse it, it becomes 63, which is greater than the original number by 27. So even that is working out. So I can mark the answer choice in this case as B, which is 36. Moving on to the next question now. In a binomial distribution with n6 independent trials, okay, the probability of 3 and 4 successes. So what is the probability of 3 successes? NC3 or 6C3 into P power 3 into Q power 3. This is equal to 0.2457, or probably 6C3 into P power 3 into 1 minus P to the power 3 is equal to 0.2457. Similarly, 6C4 into P power 4 into 1 minus P to the power 2, this is coming out to 0.0819. So I can very well find out the value of P, because this is working even from the first one. 6C3 is coming out to P cube into 1 minus P cube. 6C3 is nothing but 20. So P cube into 1 minus P cube is equal to 0.2457 by 20. Or the other way to look at is even when I divide both of them, P power 4 into 1 minus P squared is equal to 0.0819 by 6C4, which is 50. So these two, if I divide also, the whole thing is working out to 1 minus P by P is equal to this value. Okay, let me try out 0.2457 by 20. 0.2457 by 20, that is the first part. 0.0819 by 15. 0.0819 by 15. So these two things divided is what 1 minus p by p is. So 1 minus p by p comes to these two numbers division. So 1 minus p by p works out to 2.25. So which is also like 1 by p minus 1 equal to 2.25. 1 by p equal to 3.25 or 13 by 4. From there it's operating that p equal to 4 by 13. If p equal to, that is what, find the parameter p of the distribution which is being coming out as 4 by 13, which is C being the option choice in this case. So with this we come to the end of the solutions to this 55 question set, the second practice test of pacegurus.com for the ACET entrance exam. If you have any further queries regarding the same, request you to come back to us by giving us a call on the number that is given below, or you can even send in an email at vamsidhar@pacegurus.com. I can get back to you with the relevant clarifications for the same. Thanks a lot for listening to this complete set of solutions. Thank you very much.